Hey, Kirsten.
What?
Have you heard Beyonce's new album?
I've heard This Ain't Texas.
This ain't Texas.
What?
My least favorite song, by the way, on the
Well,
album.
that's like the one that is all over the place.
I know.
I heard that she put out a country album, which, you know, was announced during the Super Bowl, and now the whole album is out.
The whole album's out.
And people are listening. I haven't listened yet.
I can't stop listening. At first,
it
I wasn't
good?
sure about it, and now I cannot stop listening. So you know her whole thing, right? Like the 3 albums she's making.
No.
So the first one was Renaissance, and it was
Okay.
like dance, techno, ball kind of stuff.
When was that?
I think it was last summer.
I'm like so out of the loop with pop culture.
It's okay. But I'll tell you. So
I'm not ashamed.
I don't think you should be. I'm just saying. I'm here to tell you about it.
Okay.
I'm your source. But Renaissance, was her first album in this series of 3. And it was a techno pop disco kind of vibe.
Okay.
And she's basically making an album in different genres that Black people actually started
Oh.
the music for,
Okay.
and she's reclaiming it and taking up space in that genre.
That's cool.
Yeah, so the first one was techno disco. I loved it. I loved her last album.
You know what I never see is Beyonce interviews.
She doesn't do, I don't think she does interviews.
She doesn't do press.
I think it's like a thing that she doesn't do interviews.
Like on purpose.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
Yes, I've seen it before.
Because it's like she never speaks for herself. I mean, there's old videos of her doing interviews back when she was in Destiny's Child, but nothing recent at all.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she made it a point to say she's not doing interviews. Since 2013, she's only done a handful of interviews, preferring to let her narrative be told through her social media channels.
Or through her music.
Or her music.
All I know is there was an era where I got into Beyonce, and it was the Lemonade album.
Oh, 100%. I was not really a fan. I didn't dislike her, but I wasn't like a huge Beyonce fan besides like Crazy in Love and Destiny's Child.
It's like we knew all of her songs. Like we knew all the big hits. Like To the Left and Irreplaceable and, you know, like Halo.
And that wasn't really my type of music, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like it was just all over the radio, and so I knew like most of the lyrics, and but it wasn't like what I never really like sat down and listened to one of her albums until Lemonade.
Me too.
And I listened to it even more because this is kind of a weird anecdote, but like I procured a car. I was given a car for $600, and
so you bought a car for $600. Yes. I was given a car for $600.
It was like, you know.
I mean, that is a good deal, but you definitely paid for that car.
She was moving to Jersey, and she was really desperate. And she's like, somebody buy this car. And so I was like, oh, yeah, $600.
Yeah.
And so, but they left a CD, and it was
Lemonade.
Oh,
that's awesome.
And I think the car was so old that I couldn't connect it to like MP3 or anything like that. This is like,
so you just listen to Lemonade all day, every day.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good album. That's the one that got me into Beyonce. I was like, oh shit, okay, like I'm here for it.
I also saw her in concert during that era too. Yeah. But I gotta say I was a little disappointed. But I was also like really high. So but I also think it was it was like she was tired.
Yeah.
It was like a whole stadium in San Jose. And I don't know. She was just kind of like slurring her words, and she seemed tired. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. But I mean, like, you know, I was also high.
I was also high.
We had done that thing where you do, it was like candy flipping or whatever.
Oh, I know what that is.
I don't know what it was, but we did it's supposed to be like a mix of like ecstasy and
acid.
Yeah. I remember like as the stadium was leaving, we're like, okay, let's wait until everybody leaves before we leave, because it was a confusing time. But anyway, I'd like to see that like with a clear eye and see if it was actually disappointing or if I was just high.
You just need to find like a Reddit thread of people who went to it back in 2000.
I'm sure somebody has a video of it somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. But in any case, she has a new album.
Yeah.
And this is so it's a series of 3.
Yeah, there's a series of series of 3. The first one was Renaissance. She was on a horse in that album cover too. And then this one's Cowboy Carter, because Black people actually not invented, but the banjo was like a big African instrument.
Oh. Okay.
So like the bluegrass and stuff like that has African roots. And then I'm sure just, white people stole it and claimed it. But that's what she's kind of doing and pointing out. But Cowboy Carter, she's also on a horse in her album cover. So I'm wondering if the next one, I heard the next one's going to be rock and roll.
Oh.
Which
I was
I'm
gonna
excited
say,
for.
Like before Elvis.
Yeah, because Black people invented rock and roll 100%, and Elvis stole that shit. But it's really good though. Like she does a Blackbird by the Beatles cover.
Oh,
She does that.
Yeah. What I think it's kind of interesting. She's doing a lot of covers now.
Well, that's the only true cover, and I read somewhere that it was because the song itself was written for the civil rights movement, I think. I'm going to fact check that.
But here's the thing, is this album right now has a cover of Jolene.
So the Jolene isn't a cover. She changes it a lot.
But nah, it sounds like Jolene.
I mean, it is Jolene,
that
but
song is so recognizable.
I know, but it's funny because Dolly Parton is in the song. Like she's talking about, she like does an intro for it. And then Jolene comes on, and it is Jolene for sure, but Beyonce's version is different because she changed the lyrics. She changed the lyrics, and she also, it's like, Jolene is like a very desperate song, and it's like, please don't take my man. Like, I'm begging you, please don't take my man. Beyonce is like, you better not take my man. You better not take my fucking man.
Yeah. It's more of like from a position of power.
Yeah, it's coming different. And people are a little bit annoyed about that because they're like, oh, but Jolene is a classic and you can't cover it and it doesn't do it justice. And like the whole point is it's desperate and da-da-da-da. But she like changed it. It's like her version.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's also like speaks to the point of taking back.
Yeah.
Like the music that Black people created.
Exactly. It has deeper meaning.
And that's probably why Dolly Parton was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, because she's cool.
But
she's awesome.
You want to hear a fun fact? I need to fact check this, but
okay.
Dolly Parton, the only way to contact her is by fax. And so Beyonce had to fax her. Yeah. Beyonce had to fax her to ask to be able to use this song.
That's amazing if that's true.
Let's look it up. So at least Vanity Fair says that Beyonce had to fax Dolly Parton to get the rights of Jolene to be able to make a cover of it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think the fax machine should come back.
Yeah, those are sweet. I still don't know how they work.
I don't either, but like, well, I mean, it's a printer. It's just like a printer that prints out your email.
Yeah.
You send it. It's like sending an
email.
Well,
you have to, it scans it and then it sends it, and then it prints out on the other side.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I feel like we should still use them. I feel like they're actually quite useful.
Let's bring them back, dude. Okay, I just have like one more thing to say about Cowboy Carter.
Okay.
The vocals on this album is amazing. And I wouldn't call it a country album. I'd call it
country pop?
Genre bending. Because you can hear influences from rock, gospel, country, hip hop. It's everything. It's just like Beyonce's take on something different in country, I guess. But
I feel like a lot of country these days, though, is like a blend of at least pop.
Yeah, well, this is different. But in one song, she sings opera.
Oh, God.
It gives me chills.
Damn.
Like, it's amazing. The vocals on here, like, I don't know if she's been practicing or if she got, like...
She's a good singer.
I mean, she's always been a good singer, but this is, like, next level. I don't know why she sounds so freaking just so good on this album, but it's amazing.
Well, cool. Check out Beyonce's new album. I will, too. what else? This week, I was sick all weekend, and
sad.
I was like actually sick. Like I think I'll do this thing where I'm like, I'm sick, and I'll like kind of like lean into that a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like actually sick. Like one of the, and this has never happened to me before, but like one of the nights I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like choking on my own
Phlegm.
Like actually
Phlegm.
choking. Like actually choking.
God,
Like,
what?
I was like coughing so hard. Like I felt like I was gonna die. Like
Oh
I've never
my
felt
God.
that before. And I think, you know, I snore, so I think that, you know, something happened.
You know,
And it got
you
stuck
know.
in my throat, and like I fell asleep, and I woke up, and I was like gasping for air.
That's crazy.
And I was alone,
That's so scary.
and I got it out, and it landed on my foot.
Ew.
Like on my sock.
That is so gross.
But I didn't even know what was happening because like my life was flashing before. Like I was like legit dying. Like
Oh my
I like woke up in the middle
God.
of the night dying.
I'm glad you didn't die.
And then I like coughed up this phlegm onto my foot, and I was like, "Whoa, that was a bit of a scare, but we're good."
You got phlegm foot now, but at least you're not dead.
Alexa was at home, and I'm sure the cat was just like, "What the fuck, Mom?" Like,
Yeah, like what's going on?
yeah, she was like, "I'm trying to sleep."
That's
You're being
crazy.
loud. Yeah,
That's like a new fear that I didn't know could be possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always like a little afraid of like sleep apnea, like that kind of thing, because I snore. And I've had partners tell me that like they've heard me like hold my breath and be like,
Yeah.
in the middle of the night.
Scary.
Yeah, which is like a sleep apnea thing, but
Yeah. That's scary.
I think it was like that happened, but like then phlegm was
then
stuck
you
in
just
there,
had
too.
like phlegm
Yeah.
going down your throat.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're still here with us.
I'm good. Someday I'll die. It's fine.
Someday. But I'm glad it wasn't that day.
Yeah. So that was my weekend. How
And I'm
was
glad you're
yours?
feeling better. My weekend was good. I didn't do too much, but I did go to a Palestine protest downtown with our two friends.
Which I was going to go to, but I was too busy coughing up phlegm.
Yeah, you're too sick. And it was raining, so you would have gotten sicker.
I know. Like the moment that, because I was really considering going, and then it was raining, and I was like, it's not going to happen.
It's not, yeah, it's not worth it. Like, you're sick, already sick. Like, you don't need to do that. But it was really cool. I get really anxious when it comes to, like, protests and
Yeah, I saw
marching.
I saw you said that in the group chat, which I was a little surprised about because you were the one that invited me to the pro-choice like march back when you first moved back here.
Yeah. Well,
I also think that was like an era for you because you were coming back to LA. So
yeah,
you were,
I
like,
think I was like
you were,
more
like,
ballsy.
in the mood to
Yeah.
like,
Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go downtown and march. Like,
yeah.
I think my problem is I think of like the worst case scenario, like getting hit by a car because people drive their cars into protesters all the time, or like someone coming to shoot up the place, or like
Yeah, well these days.
because
yeah.
especially because of this subject, it's like
how
kind of
political it is.
yeah, it's very political and it's violent. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of
And
emotions.
people, it's like very personal.
Lots of emotions. And I just get really anxious in crowds. First of all, I get really anxious in crowds in general. But, you know, I took an edible
There you go.
and I had my girls and it was cute.
The girly pops.
I was walking and it was like really crowded at this point and I started feeling really panicked and
I
like
saw you guys
overwhelmed.
had like a flag. You had a Palestine
Somebody
flag.
gave it to us.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
it was cool. But this was before that. Like, it was when it first got started, and it was just so crowded. It was hard to walk, and I was getting really overwhelmed. And like, Bopa, I think, could sense that,
Yeah.
and she like grabbed my arm, and we were walking like that for a while. And I was like, oh, that makes it better. And then it was fine. Like, people spread out a little bit, and we were, you know, walking. But it was really cool because it went just downtown, and you know, how many times do you get to just walk in the middle of the street
Yeah.
of downtown? So we're like looking at all the buildings and, you know, it's just powerful. Like being around so many people that feel the same. And I'm glad we went. I was tired though. We walked like 12,000 steps.
Hell yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and I was sore, but it was awesome.
I wish I could have gone. Why was this one? I mean, I guess this one was because of Ramadan. No?
It was actually on Land Day, which is for what happened in Palestine in 1976. So every year on March 30th, Palestinians hold a protest and vigils and plant olive trees to reaffirm their connection to the land.
Okay.
So
this wasn't really even a protest. It's more of like a...
Well, it is a protest because the reason why it's Land Day and the reason why they protest on that day is because 6 unarmed Palestinians were killed and more than 100 injured by Israeli forces during protests against Israelis' confiscation of Palestinian land. So it's the same shit. Like, they're still fighting. This was in 76.
Yeah, it's like, I just got chills because it's like, they thought that was bad.
Yeah, exactly. Like, 100 people got injured, 6 people died. They thought that was bad. They're holding vigils, they're holding protests and stuff for
and
that.
they do it like
yearly since
and
1976.
Now look at what's fucking happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it meant like even more to have the protest on Land Day. So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Satanism. I'm Kirsten.
I'm Allie.
And you're listening to
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for Satanism. Which, contrary to popular belief, is not devil worship.
They don't worship Satan. This whole month of April, we're going to go into different religions.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd kick it off with the Satanic Temple / Church of Satan
/ Satanism
/ Satanism, because, you know, they get a bad rep.
Yeah, and I feel like there's still not enough people know that it's not devil worship.
Yeah, especially the Satanic Temple. Like, I don't really think people understand what their whole shtick is.
Well, I mean, the Church of Satan too. It's like all of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think that when you talk about modern Satanism, it is not devil worship.
Yeah.
And like, this has been going on since the 60s. Like,
yeah.
That's modern Satanism. And like, if you're thinking of Satanism before the 60s, I gotta look it up. But like, after the 60s, from 60s now, this is what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Basically, they're atheists.
The Church of Satan.
They can't be worshiping the devil.
Yeah, the Church of Satan are atheists, so they don't believe in a Satan. Like, they don't even believe in it.
Like a deity. Yeah.
Yeah. So to them, it just represents individuality.
Well, isn't the Satanic Temple atheist too?
They don't say, I don't think they really say that.
Okay. But the Church of Satan specifically says that they're atheist.
Yeah, the Church of Satan's website also says like they're atheists. I don't think the Satanic Temple, it's very different, and we'll go into the reasons why they're both different. But I don't think the Satanic Temple is telling you like what you believe. Really, it's just like, I feel like you can be a atheist, or you can be a Wiccan, or you can believe in God and still be in the Satanic Temple.
Okay, so it doesn't have to do with like spirituality really at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the way that I conceptualize it is how Christianity branched off from Catholicism, and like there's so many different Protestant denominations. There's a lot of like Satanist denominations, and the two main ones are the Satanic Temple and the Church of Satan.
Yeah.
The Church of Satan is the older one, but it's still considered like modern Satanism.
Yeah.
But the Satanic Temple started in 2013. So it's like very new.
It is new. And they didn't really expect it to take off like it did. But after it did take off, they were like, well, let's run with it. Let's do it.
But I thought it was interesting because I think like you and I we've like sort of touched on this in our own personal conversations. We're like, yeah, like people need to know that it's not devil worship. But I always thought that you were talking about LaVey and Satanism. And I didn't know about the Satanic Temple because when I studied it in college, it was like 2011 or 2012, like right before the Satanic Temple.
Yeah, so they weren't even really a thing yet.
Was formed, yeah. So I learned about LaVey and Satanism, which I think they have a lot of like crossover beliefs.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like most of it I totally agree with, but it was started by this guy, Anton LaVey, who was born in 1930.
Damn.
Yeah, he has since passed away, but like if you go to their website, it is absolutely, I mean, both of them actually. It's like ridiculous. It's like definitely just written by like some nerdy white guys,
Yeah.
some real nerdy white guys. But Anton Szandor LaVey, which I feel like is a fake name, he was the founder of the Church of Satan. So this is like what's known as LaVeyan Satanism. And this is like the first organized church in modern times that's like championing Satan as a symbol of personal freedom. So like, but their idea is like not worshiping him, but it's like a symbol of like freedom and individualism based on like the human, you know, like your own individualistic decisions.
Yeah. And they actually think of themselves as God.
Yeah.
Like they are their own God.
Yeah. So the Church of Satan, they have some fun satanic rules. There's like 11 satanic rules of the earth. And then they have 9 satanic sins, which I don't know if I want to go through the whole entire list, but like
You should definitely read the good ones.
Yeah. The rule. Okay. So if we start with like the satanic rules of the earth, number 3, when in another's lair, show him respect or else do not go there. Which
I just like how they say
basically,
lair.
like, respect, like be a good guest, you know?
Yeah, like show them respect in your own house, but I just love how they call it a
I
lair.
know,
That tells you
they're
like
such nerds.
this is just a nerdy
They're
dude.
literally like playing Dungeons and
Yeah,
Dragons
exactly.
in their basements.
They literally no, but really.
'Cause, yeah, this is copyright 1967, by the way.
Yeah.
And then the 4th one is kind of flipped. If a guest in your lair annoys you, treat him cruelly and without mercy.
Oh, read number 5.
Number 5, don't make sexual advances unless you're given the mating signal, which, yeah, like consent. Is
I wonder
real,
I wonder
but,
what
like,
the mating signal like is
well, I think
in their mind.
I mean, I think they're just saying like
I know, but
consent.
unless you're given the mating signal.
They're just being so nerdy about
They're
it.
so nerdy.
And then I like number 9, do not harm little children.
Yeah, it's always good.
Do not kill, this is number 10, do not kill non-human animals unless you're attacked or for food, which is nice. Yeah, like don't fucking torture animals. Why
Yeah.
not? So like, you know, I'm on board with all these.
Okay, wait, but number 11.
When walking in open territory, bother no one. If someone bothers you, ask him to stop. If he does not stop, destroy him.
Destroy him.
I mean, honestly though,
I just think they're kind of silly.
yeah, they're being a little
They're
bit
being silly.
just like, yeah,
But,
exactly.
You know, good for them. Like if
I mean,
if this makes them happy.
So is the Satanic Temple though.
Hey, I don't think they're
both-
as silly.
Yeah,
The Satanic Temple's actually doing some shit out in the world.
yeah, but they're like trolling.
They're
for
definitely
sure.
trolling, yes. They are troll, the ultimate troll.
So then we have some satanic sins, the 9 satanic sins, which is circa 1987. Oh wow, okay. I mean, there's a lot. Well, 9, as I said.
Well, there's a lot.
The first, I'm just like, this is a lot to rattle off.
Yeah.
But the first one is stupidity. The top of the list of satanic sins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these guys are like, I imagine
I've met
kinda
guys like this.
incel energy a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Like kind of pick-me's
Mm-hmm.
of the internet that are like, oh, well, while you guys are listening to Beyonce, I'm reading Freud. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like those kind of people.
But number 2 is pretentiousness.
Yeah, so they're saying don't be pretentious.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read number 3 because I don't know what that is. Herd conformity is another sin. It's all right to conform to a person's wishes if it benefits you, but only fools follow along with the herd. Yeah.
Sure.
So they're all about individualism. And then I thought number 9 is interesting as a satanic sin, aesthetics. So lack of aesthetics is a sin. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like this could be interpreted in a lot of ways, but it's saying, like, this is the physical application of the balance factor. Aesthetics is a personal thing, reflective of one's own nature, but there are universally pleasing and harmonious configurations that should not be denied. I mean, I think it's like, you know, take good care of yourself.
Yeah.
And present yourself well.
Make sure you look cool.
Yeah.
Make sure you look like you belong to the Church of Satan.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, they want you to know, the Church of Satan wants you to know that they don't worship the devil. They don't perform sacrifices. They don't support sex with children. They don't abuse people. You know, they're not theistic.
They're really harmless.
Yeah.
To be fair, they're very harmless people. They're just trying to be themselves and find a community and, you know,
Yeah.
worship like themselves and, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a lot that goes into it too. They have like, if you go to their website, it, you know, is very detailed.
Yeah, churchofsatan.com.
Yeah.
They also believe in magic, which I thought was interesting, being atheists.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the 11 satanic rules. Where is it? Number 7, acknowledge the power of magic if you have employed it successfully to obtain your desires. If you deny the power of magic after having called upon it with success, you will lose all that you have obtained. So,
yeah,
let that magic happen. Yeah, I mean, I feel like these guys literally are just Dungeons and Dragons nerds.
Literally. So, but I mean, that makes sense if they do believe in magic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They're just going LARPing every weekend.
Yes.
Like, you know, Church of Satan people are fine.
They're fine.
Leave them alone.
You know?
Let them play.
Yeah, let them do their thing. But then 2013 comes along and we have the Satanic Temple, which is the one that you're affiliated with. And I think that neither of us knew that there was these two subsects coming into this episode, like before we started doing our research.
I kind of knew. I just never put it together because I have the Satanic Bible that the Church of Satan like wrote and distributed. Yes, in the 60s. I have that book.
Okay.
But I just never put it really together. I mean, it makes sense now that you're telling me. But
Right.
I just never I knew they were separate, but I never really looked into the Church of Satan.
Yeah.
So I just forgot it existed.
Well, so far, I'm like, y'all do you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. So the Satanic Temple is completely not affiliated with the Church of Satan, but it's still the same. It kind of comes from it. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure it was influenced. Like the dude who runs it, Lucian Graves, I'm sure was influenced by the Church of Satan.
Well, they both have the same logo, which is like the upside down pentagram.
Mm-hmm.
They both have affiliations with Baphomet.
Yeah, Baphomet.
Yeah, they both have affiliations with Baphomet and the upside down. They have a lot of symbolism that's similar.
Yeah. The difference is, and if you guys haven't seen Hail Satan, it's on HBO, and it's a really good documentary. It's fun. It's informative. But yeah, so anyway, the Satanic Temple is very much about religious freedom. So it's kind of like a counterbalance to Christianity. Like, they believe that church and state should be separated, and it's not fair that all these people are using their religion when it comes to writing laws and inflicting it upon other people.
Yeah.
When not everybody is a Christian. So the Satanic Temple is kind of like trolling Christianity and lawmakers and stuff, and kind of telling them, like, look how absurd this is. Like, you're doing this to us. What if we did this to you? Like, we don't think you should be writing laws that have anything to do with your religion, because our nation is not Christian.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be freedom of religion, but the Christians, and I say Christians meaning like mainly the people in politics, are taking it over and just, all of a sudden it is a Christian state, but it's not. And our forefathers didn't want that anyways. So what I appreciate about the Satanic Temple is they really push the boundaries of like, oh, well, you're putting up a Ten Commandments statue on Capitol State grounds. We want our own statue because we're also a religion. Yeah. And this is what we believe. And they're recognized as a religion under the IRS, so they're tax exempt and everything, just like churches are.
Yeah, for some reason the Church of Satan isn't. But
yeah, I mean,
I think that maybe they just don't have like an organized structure like they used to.
Yeah, but they do funny stuff. So I would say I'm affiliated with the the Satanic Temple.
Allie's a Satanist.
Yeah, I'm a Satanist, but
I would be too, I think,
Well, I did it mainly because they are advocating for injustices and especially pro-choice laws. And if you're a member of the Satanic Temple and you need an abortion, you can use your religion as a reason to get an abortion because it's a religious thing to them.
Yeah, this is like a good segue from last week's episode.
Yeah. So that's really what got me into it. And they're like suing different states because of it, because it goes against their religious rights. So I'm like, damn, if shit hits the fan.
They are just like doing the opposite, because it's like people who are Christian are like, abortion is against my religion. And so the Satanic Temple is like, well, this is against my religion.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're kind of like showing you the hypocrisy of this, like you can't just say one religion's better than the other and make it work just for that religion.
Yeah, it's like literally just some guy. Well, there was something that I read on the Church of Satan's website that was like, he said that when he's talking about how he's the founder, he says if he didn't do it himself, somebody else, perhaps less qualified, would have. So it's like that idea that like anybody can create this like ideology.
Yeah. Yeah. And Lucian Graves was really the one who started the Satanic Temple, and he was really adamant about making sure that everyone's aligned and we're all on the same page and, no one's going crazy. But like the documentary opens up with these people dressed up in cloaks and like have horns on their thing, and they're doing like a charity or a speech or something for Satanism, and they say that this was sponsored by like one of the politicians, the local politicians, who's like a Bible thumper.
Oh my God.
Just like make him mad, Yeah. And then one other thing, this is what really, like when I heard about this, I was like, these are my people. So the Westboro Baptist Church, they're terrible. Mm-hmm. They're the ones who are always like, pray the gay away, and like God hates the F word.
Well, I think that they were just in the news a lot during that time because that's when gay marriage became legal. Mm-hmm. And so like in 2013, they did a lot of protests when it became legal federally. Yeah.
Yeah. So what the Satanic Temple did was they went after, so the dude who runs the Westboro Baptist Church, who's like the loudest one, they went to his mother's grave.
Oh God.
And they were doing like ceremonies with gays kissing over over his mom's grave, and they officially declared his mom a lesbian in the afterlife.
Oh my my God.
And that like pissed them off, you know. So they're just like trolls. They're just always trolling, and I love it.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah. But, you know, yeah, they just believe religion shouldn't be in government. And the thing that's different about them versus the Church of Satan is the Church of Satan wasn't political, and the Satanic Temple is.
Definitely is, yeah.
Yeah, they sue states for certain things like abortion rights. They raise money for injustices. Their whole thing is like speaking up for the injustice. Like Satan spoke up for the injustices, of God.
Yeah, I mean,
and then got banished for it.
An even more liberal, modern version of Satanism.
Mm-hmm. And everyone's saying like activism is what the Satanic Temple represents. They're all about standing up. So the whole thing is like, you know, in the Bible, Satan questioned God because he was doing some questionable shit. And he questioned him, and then he got banished to hell forever or whatever. But their whole thing is like, well, maybe Satan isn't that bad because God is kind of gnarly. Like when he told Abraham to kill his son or whatever, that story.
I don't even remember.
Oh my God. Well, he told Abraham to kill his son and to trust him and kill his son. So Abraham's about to kill his son. And then Satan appears and is like, maybe don't do that. You know? And then
he can be a voice of reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And then when God's like starving in the desert without food and water, Satan's like, he comes to him in snake form, and he's like, you sure you don't want water and like food? Like
Satan's
you shouldn't like starve out here. Like, let me help you. So their whole thing is like, maybe Satan in Christians' version of everything wasn't bad. Maybe he just stood up for the injustices that were happening and then got banished for it. So that's their whole thing, is like standing up for the right thing and activism, and, you know, making sure that these laws that are being written don't have anything to do with religion, just like the forefathers wanted, you know.
We love to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm all for the Satanic Temple.
Yeah, do you want to read the 7 tenets?
Yeah. So they have 7 tenets, similar to the 11 satanic rules, but different.
Mm-hmm.
So the very first tenet is one should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. That's similar to the do not kill animals one.
Yeah.
Freedoms of others. This is number 4. Freedoms of others should be respected, including freedom to offend. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of others, to forego one's own. Okay, yeah. I mean, I think they're both like a little bit like anti-establishment in that sense.
Yeah, number 2, the struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institution. I also like number 5.
Beliefs should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs. Yeah.
Boom, baby.
Absolutely. Like, go, like...
I feel like common sense stuff.
There's this, like, worded in a way that, like, actually feels official.
Yeah, not like... Well, you know... Do you know why, like, God was added to the pledge, and then in God We Trust was added to, like, the cash and stuff?
No.
Well, in the 1950s, when the Soviet Union was like, we have atomic bombs and we're going to kill everybody, the United States was scared of them, and their whole, like, some politician decided that it's because we're godless and we need God in order to avoid the end of the world, like Armageddon.
Oh, so he was, like, legit resorting to magic.
Yeah, basically.
He was like, I don't know how else to stop these Russians, these Soviets, from bombing us.
Yeah.
But,
so he's like, we all gotta believe in God.
We gotta believe in magic.
So that's like when it really became in America, like, we are a Christian nation.
Oh, really? Because
yeah.
For some reason I thought that, like, traced back, like, before then. But
I mean, that's, yeah. And another little factoid I have is the 10 Commandments, you know, You know that statue of the Ten Commandments? It's like they all look the same, and they're like carved into the stone, and it has like the it looks like a book, but it's like
the tablets.
Yeah, it looks like a
right?
tablet.
Yeah.
Well, the Ten Commandments, like the tablet statues, were actually from the movie, this movie called The Ten Commandments for Paramount, and in order to like kind of as a promotion for the movie, they spread those statues all over the country to different state capitals, and that's why they all look the same.
Oh.
Because it was like a bunch of them for this movie, and Paramount was like, Paramount was like,
we have to get rid of this movie prop.
Yeah, and there was like 2,000 of them or something.
That's funny.
So they went to a bunch of state capitals, and that's why they all look like that. I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah. It's all show business, baby.
Yep. But the biggest thing that the whole documentary is kind of leading up to them making this crazy big Baphomet statue.
Uh-huh.
And this, I think it was Oklahoma. They wanted to put the Ten Commandments on the state capitol grounds. And the Satanic Temple was like, well, if you're going to put the Ten Commandments on there, freedom of religion, everyone should be represented. We want to put our Baphomet statue on there too. And they were like, what if we don't put the Ten Commandments statue? And the Satanic Temple was like, okay, well then we won't put our statue. Like, it's only
Then
fair,
even, yeah.
you know, like we won't. So they actually stopped the build of the Ten Commandments statue on one of the state capitals.
That's good.
Yeah. I just think they're cool. I don't want anyone to think I worship Satan, and that's why I don't really say I'm like, oh, I'm a member of the Satanic Temple. But it's almost like if you know, you know. And if you don't know, then stay out of it.
If you don't know, it's a Google away.
It is. But I've definitely gotten
some
flack for it because I used to have Hail Satan in my Instagram bio because that's what they say. They say Hail Satan.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean Satan, but, you know, to someone who doesn't know, it seems evil.
Right.
So I've definitely had to like...
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard with social media because it's like, who's going to see it? And it's not just our friends that see it. It's people that are older than us that may be religious or whatever. Like
maybe your partner's mother.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that if we want change, or if it's something that really matters, like racism or Palestine, or I don't know, whatever it is, I think that the only way to change the world is to have open dialogue and to talk about these really hard things that are hard to talk about because they're just hard to talk about.
So that was it, right?
I think that's pretty much
for you guys.
Yeah, I think the main point is Satan, Church of Satan, Satanic Temple. They are not bad people. In fact, the Satanic Temple is full of really good people.
Yeah.
And they don't worship Satan, and it's just a symbol for them. It's not like a real thing. So I think that's where people get hung up, but it's not real for them.
Yeah,
so,
it feels like for both of them, it's like kind of a point of rebellion, you know?
Yeah.
Just like against the grain kind of idea. And so it's like a shock factor that...
The shock factor is a lot of it, I think.
Yeah, it's like they're using it almost as a shock factor to be heard. And as they should, because it's like, how else are you going to like speak up against injustices?
Mm-hmm. And they're playing by the rules. Yeah. Like the Satanic Temple, everything they do is by the rules. When they have like a protest or something, they always ask permission from the right people and do it the right way so that
they're doing it like lawfully.
Yes.
So
that they have more to stand on.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I think the main thing is do your research. Mm-hmm. Don't just think if they have Hail Satan in their bio, you should know that is not, well, you shouldn't know that, but you should ask why.
Also, if you know the person, don't assume. I don't know. Just don't assume.
Or just ask me about it. Mm-hmm. You know, Ask me why I have that, because that to me is declaring my belief in the Satanic Temple and what they're doing for the community.
Yeah, it's almost like an ideology and not even a religion for you. It's like, you know, your thoughts on justice, like social justice.
And like just the fact that there's community around it too is big. And I love the Baphomet stuff. I think he's cute. I love like pie. I love like the merch.
We like the occult. We like the occult.
Yeah,
we have a coven.
We do. So
we have an active coven. It's very active.
It's on brand for us.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We're going to have more for you.
Yeah, we're going to do a couple different, not as well-known religions / cults, maybe.
Yeah. So
stay tuned for that.
And as always, buy us a coffee.
Yeah, just buy us a coffee. It's $5. It's easy peasy.
Yeah.
Goes towards a good cause.
We got a fund. And if you guys have, well, how about this? If there's anything you ever thought you wanted to talk about, hit us up and maybe we can invite you onto the pod if we like your idea.
Yeah, come on to the pod, talk to us, give us, whatever you think you want to learn more about. We'll do it for you, or you can do it with us.
And also feedback. You can feedback us.
Yeah. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us if we're doing bad. We can take it. Before we couldn't take it, but now we can take it.
Yeah. Yeah, we can take it.
We're strong. We can take it for sure. We're not going to cry.
We'll never cry.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. Follow us on Instagram.
And that's a wrap.
That's it. Bye.
Bye. Love you.